Hi everyone, I'm your instructor Erin O'Keefe. In this video we'll cover Module 1. Each week I will make a new video covering each new module that we'll be working on. These videos serve to help me communicate some things to you. It's sort of like what I would do in the classroom, and so that helps me to provide you with additional information beyond what's in the module and also give you tips for completing the module. It's really important that you watch these videos. A lot of times students will have questions after looking at a module, and it turns out that I answer that question in the video. And so sometimes if you watch the video after you have kind of taken a look at what we're planning on doing, you'll find that you have figured out what it was that you were confused about. And so it's really important that you watch these videos. Like I said, I'll do it each week, try to keep them fairly short so you can kind of see what each new module is going to look like. So I'm going to start with just some Canvas navigation to start with, and then we'll get into Module 1. So for those of you who are new to Allen or maybe new to Canvas, I do want to show you what the class looks like. So I'll be showing you on my screen everything that looks like what it looks like from the student view. So you can see when you first log in the home page, we've got recent announcements here. I post announcements usually at least 1 or 2 per week. And so it's important that you keep logging into the class regularly so you can see if I've posted anything new. If you can, I would suggest downloading the Canvas app, because that also gives you a way to check on announcements and kind of keep everything up to date so you don't get behind in the class. The other thing you'll see here is your to-do list. It includes announcements that you have not read yet, and then the upcoming assignments. Now, if you're ready to submit an assignment, you're welcome to click on this, and it will take you directly to that submission. However, you should not navigate the course just doing the to-do list. The problem with that is that you're missing out on all of the other information for the class. And so if you start here, you are missing the readings that you need to do. You're missing some of the other assignments that tie into them. And so you want to make sure that you're going to the modules page in order to complete the class. This welcome email or welcome announcement is where you should start. The very first thing you should do is view this. If you haven't viewed the Getting Started module, you'll want to do that, and you need to get your textbook for the class. That is step number 1. You have to have the textbook for this class. It is a rental textbook, and so we will send it to you as soon as we know that you need one. You do need to contact the school in order to do that, though. So make sure that you have contacted them, and they will get the book shipped to you. And then you'll access Module 1, of course, and if you can, start off with the Module 1 welcome email assignment. That is something that you can do without the textbook. The other thing that you should do is go to the syllabus page and download the syllabus in the course at a glance, but if you can, print off the course at a glance. That would be a good idea. The course at a glance is a listing of all of the assignments for the class, and it includes the outcomes that would cover, so why we're doing this assignment, as well as the due date and the point value. And so this is a really handy way to keep track of which assignments you have completed. If you print it off, obviously you can check them as you complete them, and then that way you won't get lost in the class. It looks like a lot of stuff. You look through the module page, there will be 16 modules. So by the time we're done with the class, there's going to be a lot of stuff under the module page that just kind of helps keep track of what you've done. So you want to start here with the Getting Started module. If you have already taken a class online at Allen, you have probably looked at the Getting Started module already, in which case you can hide it as soon as you're done with a module. The other thing that you need to do before you get into the first module is to look through the Academic Honesty module. You have to complete all of the items before the Module 1 assignments will pop up. So we start with the first thing, which is a description of the academic honesty policies at Allen, an explanation of what academic honesty is, some examples, and it goes through some of the problems that academic honesty can cause for a student. And so you can see each page is fairly short. and what you can do to avoid academic honesty. There's some examples in here that you can read through. They're not required, but I do want you to read through the other information. When you get to the end of the module, there's confirmation of understanding. You have to mark it as done before you can move on. And once you've done that, then you can move on to the first module. Will open up for you like magic, and then you'll be moved on to module 1. So you need to go through that academic honesty module before you get into module 1. It's really important that you complete that because I want to make sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to what academic honesty and plagiarism mean at Allen and what it means for this class. So each module will have an overview, and then you usually have a reading assignment. Sometimes it's just one chapter, sometimes it's multiple chapters, sometimes it's actually a chapter you've already read that's just for review because we're going to be covering it again in this module. So the overview gives you an idea of what we're covering, and then the video that I'm recording right now will be posted here. And then you'll go through the reading. Most of the reading assignments have a mark as done. So after you have gone through the chapter, then you can mark it as done. If you do not have your textbook right at the beginning of class, then that's okay, especially for this first module. I mean, the first 2 modules, really, you don't necessarily need the textbook. You can always go back and look at these chapters once you get the textbook. If you have any trouble with that, let me know. But you don't need that chapter to complete the assignments in the module. You'll just need it as we go through to better understand the material in the class. So the first assignment is a welcome email assignment. It is to actually send me an email. And so you use either your Allen email or your Canvas inbox. Your inbox is over here on the side, and you can send anyone in your class an email. You can also send any instructor an email through Canvas. And so it's all hosted in Canvas. Or you can log into your Allen email. If you have never logged into your Allen email, I do recommend doing that. However, you can do whichever one you plan on using more for this class is the one that I would do. And then you have some questions to answer in the email to me so I can get to know you just a little bit better. It also is practice using the email here. Introduction discussion board. This is fairly standard for students, just getting to know your classmates. To use a discussion board in Canvas, you click on the reply and it will bring up your text box here. You have some tools here. You can provide a link if you want to, an external link. You can upload an image. You can upload some media if you want to. So if you're doing these, adding in like your favorite book and you want to add a link to the website, you can add in an external link. If you have a picture that you want to include, you can upload your images like a JPEG file or something like that. So these are all things that you might want to include. If you want to include a YouTube video, you can just copy and paste the URL into the box and it will pop up with the little play button there. So once you're finished creating your post, then you hit post reply, and then it'll show up like this. And then you have to go in and respond to classmates. And so when you hit a response, when you do a response to a classmate, you'll hit the little reply underneath their post, and that will post your reply to them. So it looks a little bit different from other things that you might be used to when doing a discussion. The last thing that you're going to do is our first reading assignment. So you'll notice that the assignments in this class are divided between 3 categories. There's writing assignments, there's grammar assignments, and there's reading assignments. The writing assignments are all ones that you'll write out and submit a file. The reading assignments are ones where you read something from the textbook and respond to questions and then upload a file. And then the grammar assignments are all tests. You won't get your first grammar quiz until the next module. This is your first reading assignment though. If you don't have the textbook yet, I have linked a PDF of the article here so that you can complete it without the textbook, but make sure that you do get on top of getting that textbook as soon as possible. You're going to read The Ugly Truth About Beauty by Dave Barry, and then you're going to answer the questions. The more you write to your answers, the better off you're going to be with these assignments. So you're going to do quite a few of these response to the reading, and that is the reading part of the integrated reading and writing class. So it's really important that you make sure that you are explaining your answers. So That is the first module. It's not a lot of stuff to do, but you do want to make sure that you get in there and complete it. Again, when you complete everything, if you submitted everything, you've marked it as done, you contributed, you submitted, all of these will show up as check marks. This is a really handy way to keep track of whether or not you have completed everything in that particular module. So make sure that you are keeping track of what you're doing with the course at a glance, as well as these checklists. This will show up as green once you've completed everything in the module. So this video has covered module 1. Hopefully you are doing okay with the class this first week. If you have any questions at all, make sure you send me an email. My cell phone is also on the home page if you want to send me a text message. It's just really as fast as sending me an email, because I get my emails on my phone too, but just keep in mind that you have multiple ways of contacting me, and definitely